welcome to a tour of the all-new VW Golf variant, here in the 8th generation, the new Golf Estate. We'll show you exterior, interior, and what we can tell you already about the driving experience, also including the Golf Alltrack, this off-road or crossover-ish version of the variant. Everything in this video, and now join us in Full HD, full screen and full length. Let's go. In the front, Golf 8 hatch and Estate are not too different. You can see here the headlamp design is like upside down if you compare it to the previous generation. The daytime running light is very beautifully integrated here with the light strip in the middle part, then also here the signature there. Main headlamp unit LED standard, and an optional, the so-called IQ light, that's the matrix LED for elaborated high beam functions. This vehicle is also the R line. The variant, the Estate, is available in Life, Style and R-Line trims so far, and also in the Alltrack trim. The R-Line here with the sporty accentuations, stronger lower bumper. This car is also additionally equipped with the black package. That means that we have shiny black elements here, where you would otherwise have a mix of chrome and more, simple black elements. But here then all the high gloss black at the exterior for a very strong look. The length is at 4.63 meters, 15'2" or 182 inches, and that means 8 centimeters or 3 inches longer than the previous generation. So you have, first of all, a gain in wheelbase, and then also a little bit more longer overhang. And this is really interesting because so far hatch and Estate did share the same wheelbase. Now actually the wheelbase here is longer than in the hatch. The Golf 8 variant shares then the same wheelbase with the Seat Leon ST, the Sports Tourer, and also the Skoda Octavia. This will have a massive impact here on the rear legroom. Normal Golf would even start with 15-inch steel wheels, then you go with 16-inch aluminum, 17, 18, 19 would be maximum then for the sports models. This one here at the moment in the R-Line, optional 18-inch. R-Line would start with 17, 18-inch wheels, also in the black design. And once again, this black pack with the high gloss accentuations, then here also in the lower part, so a very strong look. Of course, the difference here of the Estate to the hatch is that we have a continuing roofline here. You can get these roof rails either also in a dark or bright style. And here we also have dark frames around the windows. Again, you can also have it in a different styling. A typical classical compact Estate style, nothing too fancy, but here in this R-Line, this already starts to be fancy. And by the way, suspension information, you either go with a normal suspension or optional the DCC, dynamic chassis control. This is then the adaptive suspension available for all the different versions. And in the rear, hatch and Estate, once again, not too different. More modern tail lamp design right here. ETSI, by the way, means that this is the mild hybrid technology for this turbo petrol engine. Soon more about the engines. Then the R-Line with the black pack, once again with the shiny black contrast in lower part. And this is here a massive case for the Autogefühl fake exhaust police. Now about the engines. First of all, here the missing gas strut. You can argue about that, if it's maybe, standard, should be standard for a Golf. But then again, they also say it's better for pedestrian safety, of course, when it's put down, because then there's less resistance from the hood in the front pedestrian crash. Interesting. Then the horsepower range will be some 110 horsepower to probably 320 horsepower then in the Golf R variant, which we also expect. But the usual engines would then be either 1 liter turbo petrol engine, 3-cylinder, 110 horsepower. Then the 1.5 turbo petrol engine, 1.5 liter with the new mild hybrid technology, when you have also the DSG in combination. And then the 2-liter TDI. There is one 150 horsepower version with the all-wheel drive possible, for example, and the Alltrack will exclusively now get a 200 horsepower all-wheel drive version. That again only available for the Alltrack. There will be no CNG or GTI, GTD, GTE for the variant, so a little bit less choice than here for the estate version if you compare it to the hatch. This is the new car key. And of course there's keyless entry. Put your hand on the outside to close the vehicle. Then also the mirrors fold in if you have that option. Very well integrated, you see. It's like really close to the vehicle. Pretty cool. And then of course the door closing sound. Ah, nice. That's a reason why you would buy a Golf. Then also on the positive side, soft or plush material here at the inside of the doors in the front at least. Then this is an insert, different stylings available here. Then the microfiber surface, because we have the R-line interior here as well. Then reasonable door pockets, that's pretty good. Then new for this Golf 8 generation is this panel design, this black panel design, and soon we'll tell you more about the digital instruments and also the screen on the right. New steering wheel, this again being the R-line means a flat bottom and also perforated sides. Here, integrated buttons, so there is a base steering wheel available where you still have manual buttons, so to speak, and this one is this, let's say, one button design where then have the capacitive fields on there. I really don't like it. Really, it has been a struggle in the ID3 to control it. Sumo deals to that, but the look of the steering wheel is pretty cool. And the highlight of this very vehicle the seats. There is the base seat available for the Golf 8, and there's a ergo comfort seat, fabric and microfiber mixes, no animal skin. And here, this is then the optional sport seat in the R line. Same form will also be for the GTI in the hatch, for example. And this is a very, very cool mix. I mean, it looks pretty fancy. Fabric on the inside, microfiber then on the inside bolsters, and outside some leatherette. So this seat is all animal free, and the whole Golf will almost all be animal free except for the steering wheel and the higher trims. And they're working on that. Also, the comfort for these sport seats is really good for tall persons. You're a little bit tighter here in the upper shoulder areas, but still they don't cage you in. So you still feel very comfortable, really at home. And the comfort of the seats in general of the Golf has been improved. At the moment here in the lowest position, and with the 1.8 A6 or 6.1, there's still some headroom left. No problem for tall adults. However, this one here then with the panoramic roof, this one does reduce then the headroom a little bit. So if you want more headroom, you would leave out the panoramic roof. Here, however, of course, you can open it and then have some more light in the interior. Interior overview in the front is not really different from the normal Golf 8 hatch. In this new generation, also soft plush top part, and here the design lines, they get a little bit more narrow to the outside. I think that's really well done. Then the integrated screen here on the right side, either 8.25 inch or 10 inch screen. This one here is the bigger screen as well. Soon more details to this screen. Other thing I can already tell you is here the volume control right here with sliders, and also the temperature control here with sliders. And this is really splitting opinion. No, I think it's not splitting opinions. Everyone dislikes it. Sorry, that's it. Then on the left side, 10.25 inch digital instruments. This is always standard, just like it is. And I think it's also a good choice not to have different sizes there, on the left side. So more details for that. On the right side here of the steering wheel, we have a heated steering wheel. That's quite good, of course. Nice option in 3 levels. And then you slide here for next song, for example. And this one here is to control the inside of the digital instruments. And you get something like acoustic feedback as well. And yeah, you feel also that something is, reacting there inside, but still you don't have such a good feeling as it would be a normal knob, especially while driving. I think that's really irritating. And on the left side, to me, that's even a little bit more critical. Here to activate or deactivate the ACC, Adaptive Cruise Control, and when you have the normal button steering wheel, you can set with resume or set, you can go 1 and plus and minus 1 kilometer, and with the plus and minus you can go 10 kilometer steps. Here it's the case, this is like a 2-level one. So you either press slightly or a little bit more in. That's just on this side for 1 and 10 kilometer steps. You have to know that. But yet again, the feeling for that is horrible. Really, you cannot feel it very well that you can do it while driving. And then here, this is again for the volume, but also, yeah, I think this is, in the E-Class, it was a little bit better, these touch fields, but still it was worse than before, and here it's even worse than before. I can just tell you, stay with a base steering wheel not to get this here in the Golf. At least there is a base steering wheel where you still have the knobs. Then, moving to the right side, you have some hotkeys left for the infotainment system, for example, to reach the climate menu, or for the assistance systems that you can maybe deactivate some, but this is also, I'm not sure what they thought about that. And then you have to activate it first. Well, and then in the lower part, 2 USB-C chargers. Then there's an inductive charging pad. You might want to use the cable connection for Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Apple CarPlay would also work in a wireless way. Then a slim middle console here with the new DSG shifting lever, shift by wire, so there's no mechanical link. Therefore it can be small and you just pull it backwards for D or for the S sports shifting mode. And the transition between reverse and the front gear is also a little bit easier. It goes just faster. Further on the middle console, you have these cup holders. You can also store them like this, then you have a little bit more space in there, or then again, make the cup holder. And this here, the rear part, has some, rubber knobs for a little bit more support. 12-volt power supply here. And then there's this leatherette armrest, very well attached, good quality, and underneath some more space. Then the infotainment software here. You have this app view in the main menu, but I think it already looks somewhat outdated, doesn't it? This is always the main menu button. You could also have this main menu where you can individualize. This is here the GPS map. You can see here, this is the Volkswagen main plant, the headquarters in Wolfsburg. Should be a little bit more responsive, I guess. Then you can activate the climate unit here, or then again with the hotkey in the lower part. And then you also have access either classic climate, or you have these climate programs like Cool My Feet or so. It's supposed to make it a little bit easier, but still to access it while driving, definitely a little bit more complicated. But there's also the, hey Volkswagen,
what can I do for you?
It's hot.
Sorry, this is the minimum temperature at the front left.
Oh, okay. So, but you see, it works, but we already had it on low temperature. So this would be something where you could change the temperature then with the voice input, for example, or for the GPS input. That's possible. And Apple CarPlay integration, this is well done, goes all the way over the screen like this. And we have the optional Harman Kardon sound system in here. And this is giving a very, very decent sound. Wow. Yeah, we are setting this studio here on fire now. Yeah, okay. Sorry about that. But here, the sliders, again, they don't give you a very good feeling of what you're doing. You can slide it like very fastly, then to go down again. And the temperature sliders here, once again, not really a fan of it. I don't know. I would like to have the separate knobs still. I think this is a technology thing that is not a step forward, but a step backward, definitely. Yeah, but the integration of the CarPlay and the sound is really superb. The digital instruments also show how hot it is here. So we are sweating for you in the studio, 34 degrees Celsius. So yeah, that's very well in the 90s, if not close to the 100s in Fahrenheit. So you can see here the digital gauges in an analog style. This is possible, but you can also check out the view. For example, have the map bigger. This is also one of the advantages then of the digital instruments. So yeah, I think that's also well done. So you can see a lot, but have the flexibility. You can also see, and change what you want to have here on the left or right side, so you can really individualize everything. And the head-up display with the speed, allowed speed, assistance system info, and when you have the GPS set, and also with some direction arrows. And now to the rear compartment. Big change there. First of all, also the R-line design means more microfiber here. However, at the back part, this is the hardback at the inside of the doors in the rear. You can argue about that. And then rest is also the same design as in the front end, especially here very well done in the R-line once again with the grey microfiber. Really a beautiful job. But of course the legroom, it's all about the legroom here, since we have the longer wheelbase, 4 centimeters or 1.5 inches more in legroom. And this is indeed a big difference then to the Golf hatch. See here, a lot of legroom is left, and this is really very good. Comfortable seating position, nice also that they have somewhat a single seat design here in the rear, and you have really a lot of legroom. This is then comparable to a Seat Leon ST in the new generation and the Skoda Octavia, because once again, Octavia, Leon ST and the Golf variant, the Golf Estate, they do share the same wheelbase then. So this is a massive advantage if you go for the variant and want more space in the rear. Then I think also a nice decision that you have then the hatch with a shorter wheelbase, also for the GTI, for example, for more agility. And then the variant with the longer wheelbase, because you would buy the Estate anyway when you want more practicability, right? So I think a good choice. You already can fold the seats from here. This is possible. Then there are ISOFIX anchor points at the outside parts each. Here with cup holders, but non-adaptive, or ski hatch you can fold out here. In the middle parts to sit here on this leatherette surface here, I mean it's decently soft, so I also do fit in here headroom wise, also on the panoramic roof. At the sides, by the way, again, when you would leave out the panoramic roof you would have more headroom, but still works here. And the middle console right here, you can also get a another AC unit here for the rear with seat heating. It's not all properly powered at the moment. And then 2 USB-C ports in the lower part. And now, of course, about the boot space, 611 to 1,642 liters. A couple of liters more than before, than in the previous generation, but what does it mean? First of all, this cover here, very cleverly integrated, just press it down once and twice. So this is a very clean and good solution. Have the rails on the side. Then here also an even loading sill. This is very practical to put things in and out, and you can also remove this whole cover or load more things underneath. A replacement tire would also fit right there. Then just to put some sample luggage in, like this, that you have a good imagination of that, and you can also put it in a vertical way and it still fits underneath there. That's cool. Then you can also fold seats directly from here. This is a very good solution. And some measurements for you. First of all, the loading sill here. This is about 60 centimeters. Then the width, just a normal cover. This is a meter here, also between here and a little bit longer than here between the wheel arches. The total height is about 70 centimeters. And to the sides here with the rails, so under the cover, it's about 46 centimeters. That's quite decent. And the normal length of the trunk before we fold the seats is more than a meter. Then we can also fold the second half right here, and it folds very well, very flat. So this is how it's supposed to be. Good rails at the side, folding the seats from the trunk, releasing them there. Good square dimensions. So probably the best compact Estate as for this. And this is almost 1.90 meters. So once again, I think this is exactly how it should be done. variant, the Golf Estate, will also be once again available here as the Alltrack version. Very interesting off-road look. You can see it here, the contrasting color here all around. Then also, like in the GTI, you have the lower fog lamps. Of course, you're usually not allowed to drive with them, you know, when there's no fog, but maybe just do it. So, and then we can see the daytime running light here. And also this one has the light strip that goes here in a vertical way. So a pretty strong off-road look. And by the way, this car sits 20 millimeters or 2 centimeters higher than the usual one. And also has a cover in the lower part against, you know, some rocks and stuff. 2 times in one review, you can decide from where I enter the stage. Yeah, this time from the rear. You can see here the side profile of the Alltrack, really interesting with the badge right there. Then these are here 18-inch wheels. Fits very well to the car. I think then the crossover wheel arches, this is the classic style. And then some more silver contrast right here in the matte style. And I think these Alltrack or all-road versions, they're called at Audi, they work very well. They give some crossover styling, and again 20 millimeters or 2 centimeters higher the vehicle. So that does give you some more flexibility and some gravel roads and stuff, but of course it's more a little bit, you know, about the visual part of that. And here the new Estate once again works very well here with a strong C-pillar and really sharp and well placed design dropping line also with this gray color. I think it very well fits here, especially to the Alltrack version. So would this Alltrack be your desired Golf? Tell me in the comments. And more crossover cladding here in the rear, together with, once more, a job for the Autogefühl fake exhaust police. Because this is, yeah, clearly a fake exhaust graphic. And now the interior of the Alltrack. First of all, we have a bright insert right here. That looks quite good, also feels nice. Why not? And then steering wheel, not too different. More difference in the seats, because these are the special Alltrack seats with a special design. Grey Alcantara, then this Alltrack stamping right here, fabric on the inside, and again the microfiber surface. Really cool, visually, definitely. So that looks quite fancy and would be maybe also one of the reasons to go for the vehicle, to have something more special, something more unique. And of course, I'll also test these seats here. As for the comfort, let's get inside. And you might remember one of the advantages of the new Golf generation is that the seats are actually a little bit more comfortable and they also make a very good impression. So this middle fabric will also be quite breathable, and the side parts here with the microfiber, they hold you a little bit tighter. So it's really good. So indeed, very good impression from these seats. So yeah, to me, this would also be, you know, one of the reasons definitely. And I really like these all-road, or yeah, in this case, all-track versions, all-terrain, they're called at Mercedes. So, I mean, they're not exactly SUV, but already gives you something more unique, that your car looks a little bit different than a normal variant or a normal Golf Estate. And one more look to the rear, that's how the Alltrack looks then in the rear compartment, and the same nice design with the microfiber and the fabric mix continued all over the rear compartment. And of course, once again, with the lengthened wheelbase, more space for you and your family. And now to our conclusion for today with the new VW Golf variant. Der Golf-Variant, as we say in German. So I think the exterior, and it is quite astonishing, from this new Golf 8 generation, I think that the exterior design works better here for the Estate than for the hatch. So I did prefer the hatch from the Golf 7 generation design-wise, but here I think here for the Estate it works very, very well. Especially and also with the Alltrack version, I think that really looks very, very good. But also here the sporty R-Line, this also definitely has something. Of course, still the evolutionary change on the exterior, not too big, however. Interior, great with the sport seats. Also the Alltrack seats are really good. In general, the whole new seat design from the form and from the materials is really top notch. That's, you know, almost all animal free. Better in the comfort definitely, and very high class materials as for that. However, the user interface, this is actually a big problem. The digital instruments are just fine, but when you go for these optional steering wheels with the capacitive fields, that's a fail. And also the software in the infotainment system, and that you have these sliders for the volume and also for the temperature. This is just not a step forward, it's a massive step backwards, and that's really a pity because hardware-wise, this is one of the best cars on the market, definitely. They just have a failure in the software, same what we recently found out with the Volkswagen ID.3. I hope they will improve that, at least you can improve software-wise. However, user interface, steering wise, this is also, like a mix between software and hardware, definitely. Then, big news here definitely for the estate because we have more legroom than before now, and this is definitely a very good step ahead. So, when you went for a Golf estate, usually you want to have some more space in the trunk and for your family and so on, or maybe go on holiday. This is now really good legroom here. The exterior-interior relation is really top-notch, so definitely comparable now, also of the same wheelbase now to a Skoda Octavia or to a Seat Leon ST. Also, the Leon ST has also grown in this wheelbase now, so they did the same then for the Golf. So very comfortable also in the rear, very reusable, and also what they did with the trunk, how you control this, everything. This is what they are good at, so and they can do this very well. So I wonder why they didn't keep it, let's say, a little bit more solid also as for the user interface. That would have been better, definitely. Overall, still a very good package. Might still be one of the best estates here in the compact segment on the market. Also driving-wise, what we already know from the hatch, very comfortable because the hardware is so well done, so solid. Good compromise between comfort and sportiness, especially if you go for the optional adaptive suspension. And also what we scored as for fuel economy with the mild hybrid engines, the new mild hybrid engines, the petrols, was already very good in the hatch. This will not be that different in the estate, so we can also expect some good results from that. So soon also tune in to the driving review here of the Golf estate. I hope you enjoyed our tour here for today. And tell us, would you rather go for the R-Line or for the Alltrack we had here today? Let's discuss in the comments. See you next time.